But when the woman dies,
it's not a
nobody
question.
harasses the man.
That's true.
Can you imagine that? Nobody. Have you ever heard of this widower in court fighting his mother-in-law somewhere about property?
No.
You've been hiding in the shadows way too long. You always thought that you were weak, but babe, you're wrong.
Hi everyone, my name is Catherine.
And I'm Eva.
And I am every woman. Welcome to the show. Today, guys, we're going to talk about something which I think we should have talked about a long time ago. You are a woman, you can't do that. I'm sure everybody can relate with that. How many things have you been told as a woman? And sometimes it's indirect. Sometimes it's by your parents. Sometimes it's by a house girl. Sometimes it's your aunties. Sometimes it's in school. Society at large. What are the things that you were told as a woman you can't do? We're busting that myth now.
Yes. Yeah, I think as a woman, we have a lot of things that, make us stay in the box, the box labeled woman, right? And sometimes it's things that you've been told that you can't do, or sometimes that you have to do because you're a woman, right? And yeah, so I have my list, and I hope you do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think for me, first and foremost, I must say that we are both very lucky. By the way, guys, we come from the same family. And I think we're very lucky because we come from a family that's very open-minded, and gender is not a thing, that is seen as, oh, the boy child can do this. And so growing up, I, felt like I could do pretty much everything as a person, whether I'm a girl or not, so most of my experiences as you're a woman, you can't do that, have happened to me as an adult. So the first one I want to talk about is just, being interested and even joining a male-dominated industry. And so I'm in marketing, I'm a marketing professional, and most of the marketers, majority actually are ladies. So during my career, there's one time I was interested in this industry and it's predominantly male, and I wanted to give it a try, and so I applied for that job and I actually got it. But even during the process, as I applied and went for the interviews, everybody's like, hey, and you're sure you want to do that, and you're sure you want to do that? Like, it's really cutthroat. And for me, I think it was even the more reason why I wanted to do it, just to prove that I can. But do we always have to prove that we can? I don't know.
Have to work twice as hard.
Have to work twice as hard. So I ended up joining the industry anyway, and I could see even when I was going for meetings, like external meetings with other stakeholders in the industry, as I walked in, everybody would be shocked. And they're like, oh my God, where did she come from? First and foremost, I was younger. I was even smaller, like I was petite, right? And then you walk into this boardroom and it's full of like staunch men, bulky, masculine, older, and they're wondering, what can you say that we can probably listen? Like, what possibly can you say that we can listen to? And that was quite interesting to just go through that. So, but I'll tell my fellow women, like, don't be afraid. It might take you a little bit more time, but if that's what you're passionate about, you should definitely go for it. Go for it.
I feel like a lot of women would relate with you, especially when you're talking about blue collar, hardcore jobs. I mean, look at it. Even where does the term slave queen come from? Because a queen is supposed to be a very powerful woman.
Yeah.
Someone who people respect. But a slave queen has been completely changed, to make it look at the word bimbo. Where does it come from? Blonde. Very derogatory terms.
Yes.
Always to the woman.
Yeah.
Always to the woman. But sometimes I feel like it's a good thing because you always come in and you're underestimated.
Right.
And then but then it doesn't have to be that way.
It doesn't have to be that
way.
It
really doesn't.
Yeah, I think you should be respected by what you can bring to the table, not who you are, not because you're a woman or not. Yeah.
Okay, I'll go next. Mine are very subtle ones, small ones. You know, my mother would say, sit properly.
Mm.
Girls don't sit that way.
Mm.
And if you think about it, who decided that girls wear dresses and boys wear trousers and therefore boys can sit the way they want but girls can't?
Yeah.
For the life of me, I was never able to put my legs together, and that was always an issue. And until today, that's an issue.
Yeah.
So I will put on my short dresses, but I will sit somewhere where, you know, I can sit properly, according to my mother.
Okay. So my second point is traveling alone.
Mhm.
So first and foremost, guys, I love to travel.
Mhm.
I love to travel, and I actually you know, when I tell someone, "Oh, I want to make a trip here," especially if it's like a long trip, maybe like an international trip,
Mhm.
the next question comes, "Who are you going with?" You know, it's like you have to have someone to go with you, and if not, who? And sometimes I feel like it's who are you going with so that they can pay.
Oh wow! It's not even so much for company.
Yeah, but also it's
Who's
also
taking you?
yeah, who's taking you, and you know, why would you want to go by yourself? And I get this from both. So if it's a guy asking, they'll ask like, you know, want to understand why you want to go alone. But I find that majority of the ladies would want to know why or who's paying, basically who's taking care of the bill. Yeah, what do you think about that?
Well, I will say I'm a pretty extroverted person. So I do like company when I'm doing some things, but extroverted people also need time to recharge. So I also understand where sometimes I really enjoy the solitude. And maybe just to add on to that, I have been living in a neighboring country for a while now, and so I have done the long drive.
Yes,
950 kilometers on the
18
same
hours.
day. And that was tough. And every time you tell, especially the women on the other side, and they would be like, why would you want to do that? You're so brave. And, you know, I don't know that the point is being brave. I think the point for me is if I expect a driver to come and take me all the way, what is he going to do different?
Yeah.
It's just
You
driving,
can drive,
no?
yeah.
It's a road. The road is the same, you know. When I get tired, I will stop on the way. I will take a quick power nap for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And then I will continue. The driver also gets tired.
Yeah.
Just because he's male doesn't mean he doesn't get tired.
Yeah.
And sometimes also I have gotten drivers to drive me who drive very carelessly. You know, they overtake where they shouldn't overtake. And I'm sitting there thinking, do I need this? It's not necessary. Let me get tired and even save the money I would have paid the driver.
Yeah.
But you know, I can do it. I can do it. It can be done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. And I think that ties to even like seeing women in the garage. Like they're treated differently. Even taken for a fool because it's like, oh, you don't know what you don't know, you know, you don't know this part of the car. You know, we have, you know, people working at the garage who will take advantage of you because you're a woman and they think you don't know, right?
Yeah. I think Kenya has done a great job breaking out of that. There's so many women mechanics.
Yeah.
There's so many women who can change their puncture in 15 minutes. You know, that's great, honestly. Yeah. That's really where we should be headed.
Yeah. Right. Okay.
My turn?
Your turn.
I don't know if this ties directly to what I was told as a child or not, but it must, I'm sure. I cannot approach a guy. I know. And then
wow.
Well, I still feel married, unfortunately. So a lot of times if a guy smiles at me, you know, in a hotel, in a restaurant, whatever, my first instinctive reaction is to get offended. But then, if I were to be honest with myself, even before I was married, I couldn't. Okay, but that doesn't even make sense because the guys are one who's smiling at me. Okay.
So say you walk into this maybe restaurant or like a club or whatever, you know, in your earlier days before you got married. Yeah. And then you see someone you like. Yeah.
Would I approach him?
Yeah.
No, never.
Even
I wouldn't even know.
No?
If he doesn't actively and deliberately approach me, the end.
Yeah.
The end.
But I think that stems, where do you think that stems from?
Who knows? Honestly, I don't know. I've never really thought about it.
Yeah, because I think we are taught like guys are the hunters, quote unquote.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
these ladies just seated there waiting for the right guy to.
I've talked to many guys
Approach.
who would love for a lady to approach them.
Right.
Sometimes they like a girl, but guys, I hear, fear rejection. So if the girl at least gives him some encouragement, or even just boldly herself comes and says hi, I suppose they don't want to be chased and smothered. But if the girl just came and said hi and she's interested and left it now to the guy, but I can never, for the love of me, master a girl.
Because maybe the guy is also shy, and maybe the guy would be interested in you, and then maybe you're the one who would actually initiate and have this amazing relationship, no?
Well, I'm 40 years old now, 41 years old. Let me see. Maybe I'll grow into it one day.
But I must say, the younger generation now.
Oh man, they're a different ballgame.
Yeah, which is good. I think it's something we can learn from them. I think they're bold enough to go and get what they want, even if it's like, approaching a guy. And I think that's commendable. Yeah, okay.
Okay, your turn?
Yeah. So my next point is a little controversial. Is
bring it on. We like
So, I'm in my 30s, and a lot of my friends have, brought this up to me, whereby as a woman, you're not allowed to have multiple partners. But then, our male counterparts
that is controversial.
do that all the time, and they don't get as judged, harshly judged as we do. If you're a woman, you're supposed, especially my age, you're supposed to have settled down, with one man, and probably just raising your 3 children. Yeah, and just be a homemaker.
And even just cheating by the man is pretty much excused.
Yeah, and
even
as a
marriage,
woman, if you forgive,
judged very, very harshly.
Yeah.
If it is a woman doing it, and if a woman can't stand it, also it generally is supported, especially by the older generation.
Yeah.
Well, I would say a lot of people are breaking that these days.
Yeah.
What I see.
Yeah.
Is it a bad thing or a good thing? It's up to you, really.
This is what I think. I feel like, in this channel, we stand for being authentic and truthful to yourself. If that's your cup of tea, I think you should. I think you should, and I think society needs to be a bit more open-minded, because if you see a woman enjoying multiple relationships, it doesn't mean they're a bad person. It just means that's their preference. Yeah.
But I also think we need to be unapologetic. We need to stop looking at society for validation.
Right.
Like it shouldn't matter what people think.
That's
like
true.
You should do you. Be careful.
Yeah.
Be healthy. Do the right thing. Love yourself. Choose the right thing for you.
Yeah.
And stop wondering if people approve or don't approve. It's really just none of their business.
Yeah. It makes you happy. It makes you happy.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a controversial one for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll go next. We'll talk about the fairy tales, and maybe this one is not so much for me, but mostly I would say for my daughter. Sometimes I worry, all these books about fairy tales and girls wanting to get married and being princesses, and that looking like the high achievement for a girl. It really worries me, because truly it gets ingrained in the mind of the child. But on the other hand, do I just want my child to be a superhero flying and doing all these boyish things?
Yeah.
I'm feeling like there's an in-between. For example, my daughter loves makeup, which I don't. And I think that's a great thing. It wouldn't stop her from doing what she actually likes to do. In fact, I feel like she likes makeup because she's very artistic. So I don't squash the princess and the makeup and the frills.
Yeah.
I don't think that's an issue. But it goes hand in hand with every other thing.
Yeah.
So if she's learning her math using crowns and pearls and whatever, she is learning her math. And that's okay.
That's okay.
Yeah. As long as she knows that she has the responsibility to develop herself, develop her brain, develop her life, and keep growing. If that comes with makeup and 6-inch heels,
that's fine.
Knock yourself out. That's fine.
Yeah. But I guess now the question comes when, most of these fairy tale books, they don't have a girl who likes to ride, let's say, the dirt bikes, or girls who like to go rock climbing, for example.
We do have a number of them these days. I've seen a number
Yeah.
of books which we read, and they have this girl who is a champion in sport and whatever. But what I also do when we read a book is that we talk about the characters. We talk about it, and I make sure to bust that concept that that's the only achievement.
Yeah.
You know, so I feel like it's an avenue for us to talk about it. Yeah, but it calls for a lot of deliberateness.
Yeah.
In parenting, I think. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Your
All
turn.
right. My last point is being a woman and being single and successful, at least financially. You know, this one is close home because, especially if you look like you are in a certain economic class, maybe I don't know whether those are the right words to use. Like if you live in a nice apartment and you're paying your bills and you're driving a car, it's like, oh, okay, so do you have a boyfriend?
Who's funding you?
Who's funding your lifestyle? There's possibly no way you can be single and successful as a woman, you know? But for the men, it's okay. Like you can drive a Mercedes Benz, you can live in a posh apartment. No one's gonna question whether there's someone funding you somewhere, right?
Well, my contribution there is a very dark and somber one, I would say, because if you look at succession, when a spouse dies, the widow really struggles to, if the property had joint names or, you know, the widow will really struggle.
Right.
Because the assumption is all the property belongs to the man, and therefore it should be split between his mother and whoever else was depending on him. And sometimes, exactly, and sometimes it wasn't, it was that the property actually belongs to the woman, or at least belongs to the two of them. I don't know why it becomes a debate when somebody dies, you know. But when the woman dies,
it's not a question.
Harasses the man.
That's true.
Can you imagine that? Nobody. Have you ever heard of this widower in court fighting his mother-in-law somewhere about property?
No.
It doesn't happen. The law is for the men, and that's just horrible.
Yeah.
It's horrible because the woman will have been left with the children, will have been left with carrying the family name, whatever, and she will be left with nothing. And this whole concept of everything belongs to the man, you know, I feel like when I got married, in our premarital class, they said, there is no man, there's no woman, there's a union.
Yeah.
Two shall become one.
Yeah.
So at what point now is it a man and a woman?
Yeah.
Just when somebody dies. There wasn't a debate who was paying premiums for a family cover, for example, but it is a debate who now gets paid.
Yeah.
You know, nobody really stops to think about that. So
I think it's a more African thing. I don't see it a lot in the Western world.
You will be surprised.
Really?
Oh yeah. You will be surprised.
Oh, okay.
It happens. Yeah. It is a male dominated world.
No, but with like the inheritance and stuff like
yes.
that. Oh wow.
Yes,
okay.
Yes. I am a widow. I've been a widow for 5.5 years now. And I'm in widow groups with people from all over the world.
And
I see
that.
those.
Wow.
It came to me as a shock as well. I kept asking, guys, are you being real?
I always thought it's like an African thing.
No, not always. There are some African widows I know who weren't harassed by the families. Some of them. So it's when you think it's an African thing, it probably it goes beyond. Yeah. It's not entirely an African thing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing that. Yeah. Interesting. Okay. I have 2 bonus ones that I just thought about when you were just sharing right now. So the first one is the fact that I have a friend. I hope she doesn't mind if I share this. I have a friend. She's the only girl. Like her siblings are all boys. And so her experience growing up has always just been doing the house chores. And so when she grew up and she has her own, she tells me, you know what, I love being Kenyan because I can hire all the help I need. Because she won't touch a thing. But then society expects you as a woman, even if you're a career woman or you have your business out there, you should be able to handle things in your house. For example, there are women who say, oh, nobody should touch my husband's, I don't know,
Oh my
clothes.
God.
Or the husband
That is so
can't
yesterday.
eat. Yeah, can't. Oh, it's still happening. Oh, my husband can't eat food made by the house girl. And so so she gets tired, and we find women getting tired because they have to be this perfect wife, perfect everything, because you're taught to be like that. And the ones who hire help for everything are frowned upon. It's like, yeah.
Society being put in a box. I don't know. I mean, it's I understand when you're taking care of your marriage. I really get it. When you're trying to take care of your marriage, when you're trying to make sure that your husband feels special, and not all husbands will do that, and it's one-sided. Maybe he also makes you feel special. But sometimes I wonder, where do you draw the line?
Yeah.
Where does it now stop being you?
Yeah.
And start becoming someone else?
Yeah.
I mean, a few days before my husband died, I remember telling him, I won't serve you. I don't want to serve you dinner. And he said, why? I said, because I come home, I am so tired. I have small children. I am so tired. If I wasn't so hungry, I would go to sleep without eating. But I have to eat.
Yeah.
But right now, every time when I'm so tired and you just come in and shower and take the remote control, and I still have to go and serve you, I resent you every time I'm serving you. And I don't want to resent you. And it was a discussion, and we talked about it, and we came to an agreement about how we would do it.
Yeah.
I feel like if I'm taking care of my marriage, then I must also take care of myself. Otherwise, if it's eating into me, I will eventually burst and I'm not taking care of my marriage.
Yeah.
That's how I see it. It's not so much of, I can't do that, I can't do this. No. That's not it. But if it is eating me up, if it means I'm giving out from my cup, and my cup is just running dry, then it's not sustainable. It's not sustainable. If my husband can't see that, then I don't know what I'm protecting.
Yeah, I agree. And so I think what we're saying here is that if you need the help, you need the help, basically. And there's some people who there's some who enjoy serving their husbands, and I think that's okay.
Their personality.
I personally love, housekeeping and stuff like that. Like, I don't mind, cleaning, but I'll also ask for help and get help, if I feel exhausted, because because I'm also working and all that. I think here what we're saying is, if you're a woman and you don't like house chores and you ask for the help that you need, especially in this country, help is quite affordable. It doesn't make you any less.
No, it doesn't. You must love yourself.
Yeah.
You really must love yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's the only way you're going to be able to love other people.
Yeah, that's right. Pause. Sasa hiyo point ya pili nimepoteza. Ilikuja. Tulikuwa tunaongea nini? Nilikuwa na bonus. Tulikuwa tunaongea nini?
You've been hiding in the shadows way too long.